Classicology Bowstring Soul is an independent music album featuring classical string compositions performed by a fresh breed of promising and highly talented musicians from the University of the Philippines and the University of Santo Tomas. This album has been produced, marketed, reproduced, and distributed by the Broadcast Communication 106 class of the UP College of Mass Communication for the second semester of school year 2005-2006. Under the supervision of Mr. Reeve Robledo. The course aims to make students recognize and appreciate music as an art and business in the broadcast media industry. The students never knew that the college's radio studio was capable of making records. But then, Project Classicology was born and developed just inside the college's radio studio. It was there that the class discussed plans for the album, recorded and mixed the classical musicians' respective pieces, and ate sumptuous food for everyone's joy. Tired of the mainstream records in the market, the class made a bold turn and decided to bring classical music to a wider range of listeners, both young and old. The class was divided into 3 teams, each serving specific functions. The Artist and Repertoire, or the A&R team, handles all matters concerning artists and company relations, including the scouting of musicians. The Marketing team is in charge of finance and promotions, while the Creative team takes care of all design requirements as well as reproduction of the album. Each student also gets a chance to be part of a production team to work with the artists and record a track for the album. The students thought how hard it was to find young classical musicians. But then, scouts from the class were able to make a considerable number of young musicians to audition. And so, auditions were held and hopefuls came, until finally, there were only 8 chosen to be featured in the 5-track album, called Classicology Bowstring Soul, a name which arose after a series of class polls and hours of brainstorming. If there are 2 things valued most in the class, they are professionalism and love for the craft. Rehearsals after rehearsals were done by the artists together with their producers and production crews until everyone was satisfied. And so, after grueling hours of mic positioning, repeated performances, mixing, and still more mixing, the tracks were then finally up for the burn. And as every great album deserves a great packaging, a photo shoot for the inlay, promotional materials, and exhibit became part of the agenda. The students, their teacher, and the artists came to Eurostar Carnival for the photo shoot. Our young classical musicians were groomed by the Creative team and were then made to do poses. Of course, not all photographs made it to the inlay, but still, it was a fun experience for everyone. Yup, a fun experience indeed. Finally, after almost a semester of product designing, marketing, talent hunting, and recording, the tracks were compiled and the album has finally taken its corporeal form. Now when it's launching, sit back for a show of impressive talent and inspiring music. Ladies and gentlemen, all ears on Classicology Bowstring Soul.